Hi, ladies.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Hi, Coach.
Hi.
Glad you're first again.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, we have with us for the first time since 2015 the Sweet 16 bound Gonzaga Bulldogs, head coach Lisa Fortier, student athletes Yvonne Ejim and Kaylee Trong. Opening statements, Coach?
I'm just really happy for our players. These guys, they set their own goals, and they want to break all these records and do all these things that people at Gonzaga haven't done before, and you just have to keep reminding them to check them off little by little. And so, if you want to do things we haven't done, we got to go one step at a time, and they played tough today. The second quarter, Utah's a great third quarter team, and they're a really good team anyway. But we wanted to be strong in the third quarter, but our second quarter, it turns out, was a huge decider in the game. And I love how tough our team played when it got rough out there. It got close. I don't know if they cut it to 6 or 5, 7, something like that. 6. Yeah, I don't know. I just know that we came down and made some free throws, and we got the stop that we needed. We got the rebounds. All of a sudden, here comes Eliza and Vonnie on the glass. And so I just love how we covered for each other in every area today, and really proud of our effort. These two and all those guys back in the locker room.
We'll open for questions with the student athletes.
Tim Guthman, Davey. Kaylee, can you kind of walk us through that take us through that second quarter a little bit, where it seemed like, I think you guys hit 7 of 8 shots and like 5 straight from 3. Like, what was working so well offensively in the second?
I think we were just moving the ball from one side of the court to the other. We weren't stagnant at all. I didn't feel like it. I felt like I was running through our plays just nonstop. I thought we moved it well too, and just we're very sure not to just get sloppy or casual with it. And once we get multiple touches from both sides, it's hard to defend the court the whole time.
When the game got really close, seemed like you made every one of them. I think it was 11 or 13. Nerves at that moment, or were you just totally locked in?
Locked in, for sure. I think if anything, closer. Locked in for sure. I think if anything, when I got to the line, like right there in that moment, I said, this is my chance to do something for my team. So I think if anything, completely locked into like what I can provide for my team, and for like free throws, like that's what we practice, that's what we do, and that's how we contribute.
Yeah, I was telling Vonnie, like, if we're not going to score this possession and we get on the free throw line, we got to reward ourselves somehow, for this possession. And I thought we did a really good job of that. We didn't take any of the free throws for granted.
At times, or Josh Rowan, KSLUck, sorry. At times it felt like it was a game of runs. You guys would go on a run, and then Utah would kind of settle in and go on the run. How did you guys kind of keep in focus and in mind, and just kind of making sure that you didn't allow that to kind of keep, piling up?
Yeah, I think if anything, we have a lot of good leaders on our team, and the son right here, I feel like anytime, like, let's say they got a shot in, or we didn't get they got a stop on us and things like that, she's always telling us, like, right here in the moment, right here. And I think just that grounding that we get, especially from, like, Lee and other people on our team, I think it's so important for everyone else to kind of, like, lean into that, because, like, we're each other's supporters, so if we have each other, then, like, we're straight.
Lonnie, talk about the battle you had with Peely out there. You guys are just, you must have left bruises on each other out there.
Probably. It was definitely a physical game down there. I definitely respect her game so much. She's an amazing player, so I'm just happy that I got to fight it out with her today. And I think if anything, like, kudos to her and kudos to the team. They played really hard, but, we're just coming out, playing with a lot of energy and matching their physicality. They brought a lot of physicality, and, like, that's the game that if we have to step up and do that, we're going to do that. So I think we did that well today.
Kaylee, in the third quarter, at one point, when you count the 5 straight threes in the second, you had hit the first 3 threes in the third, so 8 straight in a row.
The last one in the first.
Last one in the first? Okay, then 9. Okay, thanks. I'll need that for my story. But could you feel the crowd kind of bringing you on?
Oh, 100%. They were locked in as much as we were. You know, that gives us a lot of energy, especially when we're trying to, especially when we're trying to look for some momentum. They're there backing us up, you know, whenever, wherever, whatever play, whatever happens, you hear them nonstop.
Was going up into the stands planned? Tell me about that celebration.
No. I was kind of just like, let's go. I mean, like, the student section, like, they brought it today. Kudos to them. They brought it on, when did we play? Saturday?
Yeah.
So, like, kudos to them. I think I talked about this last time, but, like, just their energy and kind of all the other Zag fans that we have, like, they bring so much energy and encouragement to our game. And, I mean, you got to give them credit for what they do. It's not easy going up there and standing the whole game and cheering people on, losing your voices and things.
You guys are easier to cheer for than you think.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Cameron McCann, Gonzaga Bulletin. This is to both of you, but this is the first time this unit has gotten out of the first weekend. What are some of the things that it took to get here?
I think it started from the jump, right before preseason even started. Like Coach Lisa said, we all came together as a team and we set a standard. We wanted what we wanted, and this was part of one of our goals. So, you know, when I talk about this team all the time, but we were so committed to each other, and you can tell from the practices. Like, I wish y'all can sit in and just see how we go head to head every single time, trying to get each other better. And then when we step on the court, I mean, it makes it, yeah, definitely.
Kaya Crawford, Gonzaga Bulletin. Kaylee, what does it mean for you and the other seniors to get these extra games here in front of your home crowd?
It means a lot. It's very special. We said our goodbye speeches during senior night, but I'm just so grateful that we got another chance to play 2 more games at this home court, because it's nothing like it here, and like, just a lot of gratitude. I keep saying that, but a lot of gratitude. Everyone just showed up for us.
For both of you, there's only 4 programs that have both their men's and women's teams playing in the Sweet 16. Just in the bigger picture of basketball here at this school, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I think if anything, like, we go to work here at Gonzaga, we build people, we build players, we build programs that can do what they need to do and get things done. And I think both our men's side and our women's side does a great job of that, and a great job of kind of building their athletes throughout that. And not even just like our sport, but like other sports as well. So kudos to this school. But I think if anything, like, it's just a testimony to the work that we've put in from the get-go, and congrats to the guys. Like, I mean, they're going to the Sweet 16 as well, and I think if anything, you just got to see how we play, and it'll kind of reflect like what Gonzaga's about and what Gonzaga basketball is about.
We have a Zoom call from Lindsay Schnell.
Hey, ladies. Well, Tim stole my question, but let me follow up by asking, I think the guys' team was home. I think that they were there tonight. And just what is it like for you all to be able to support each other? You know, it's unique at the WCC tournament. You get to cheer each other on. How much do you think that helps your programs?
Me? I think if anything, it kind of just like reflects kind of like that connectedness we have between our sports, and I think it's amazing that we have our guys out here cheering for us. I mean, we go to their games sometimes when we're home, and we have the opportunity to during conference and during preseason as well. So I think it's just great to have their support here in the crowd.
Final question for the student athletes.
Yeah, so throughout this weekend, there's been multiple times where the crowd has just erupted, whether it's a shot or whether it's a rebound or whether it's a block. Do you have a favorite moment when the crowd just went berserk, or when maybe something went right from this weekend?
I don't know when it was, but I think we were on a run or something like that, and there was like a timeout taken, and I was coming in, I literally got a head rush because the crowd was like so loud, you know? Anybody have an Apple Watch and then the like 90 decibels go off? Yeah, mine was at like 250. Like the crowd was like intense in that moment. I don't know exactly what play, but I was literally like, I stopped in my tracks and I was shook. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, guys, like, let's go. Like, and it kind of all just went in me. Like, it fed into my energy too, so.
Yeah, no, I felt like the whole game was just, you could hear the crowd the whole game. But I think one was when we went on our run, and then it was a fast break, and Vonnie, you passed it to Liz, I think, and Liz got the and one. Yeah. That was like, I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't even hear myself talk to them in the huddle, so, yeah.
Okay, thank you, ladies.
Good
You
job.
are
Thank you,
dismissed.
guys.
Thank you.
See ya.
We'll open now for questions from Coach Fortier. A reminder, if you are on Zoom, to use the raised hand icon to ask a question.
Lisa, your offense has been good at various points this year, but that second quarter, I mean, why was it that good that quarter?
Gosh, I don't know. I think our defense was better than our offense in that quarter. You know what I mean? We've had, for us, a 20-point quarter is pretty regular, right? A lot of teams hope for those kind of things, but we can put 20, 24 together. We've had 32, I think, was our high this season. So we have a lot of offensive firepower. I think that our defense was good because we were getting stops. And so we were playing free and we were playing loose. And, our offense was good because our defense was good. And so I think that feeds into it. And this team, when they buckle down and get a stop, you go in transition, and it doesn't matter how good a transition defense team you have. There's people open places. If you want to take someone away, I've said it all year, it's very difficult. They didn't really double-team Vaughn too much today. They switched the matchup when they didn't like the one matchup for Eliza, I think, more than Vonnie. But it's like, what are you going to do? Because as soon as you try to take away Brenna, they were in her shorts. They were trying hard to keep her off they got other players who can shoot the three. And so that's when Lenny got off loose a little bit. Eliza got a couple at that time. I don't know. Lee made one or two at that time. I don't know who made which ones. But I think that's what it is if you get the stops, then it makes your offense a whole lot better.
You were talking about getting stops. I noticed Utah almost always had a player posted in the corner, the left corner, sagged off that a lot, and other than Pilley, not much you can do there. A lot of offers and one-fers on the score sheet. How were you able to neutralize the other players as successfully as you did defensively?
Well, I mean, Alyssa had a great game, and she's a great player, and we knew that they were going to go to her. You go through the scouting report, and Vonnie was joking about it. They run this, that, and what happens at the end? The ball goes to Alyssa. And then this, that happens, and the ball goes to Alyssa. And they have really good shooters, but we have a similar style of play. We have a player like that, and it seems like the ball goes there, and then either you get scored on or they kick it out to a three-point shooter. But they were trying to just go to Liz today, it seemed like. And so that's why she had 35. But some of those other guys, I think, were not in the flow, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. Our focal point defensively was try to not leave anyone on an island on Alyssa. And we didn't. She's just that good sometimes. And so I think that that's part of the reason maybe they weren't in flow. It was going in there. Sometimes it was coming out, but they had to work for it. And I think that we closed out well. So it wasn't like we just double-teamed Alyssa and then gave up, took our chances on those other guys. We were trying to get to them, and we mostly did. So.
If I remember right, I think Utah went on a 13-3 run. They went up by, I think, 7 or so. Was there anything that you had to say to your team in the timeout that they kind of got that rally? Because then I think you guys went on that 21-3 run or whatever it may be that really kind of changed the course of the game.
Yeah, I don't remember what I said exactly. I know that my goal for the game was to kind of be what they needed me to be, and de-escalate and put them in a position to make basketball plays, because they're really good basketball players. They're smart. They're old. They've played a lot of games. They've had the ball in their hands a lot. And so I think at that point we were talking about maybe some help side things. I think we had picked up one foul on Alyssa. They went right in. And then maybe she popped for a 3 or 2. She might have gotten 2 threes right off the bat. And so we wanted to adjust to that. And it's tough to figure out, But I think really it was just trying to steady the moment and make sure that we were okay. No need to freak out. Let's just we're okay.
We have a Zoom call from Lindsay Schnell.
Hi, Elise. First, I wanted to tell you I really like your jacket. You know, so you're going to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2015, but you guys have been such a consistent program. You're the only mid-major left in the women's tournament. On the men's side, we hear people say all the time, the Gonzaga men are not a mid-major. They're so good. They're basically a Power 5 school. Is it time that we start thinking about the Gonzaga women that way too, do you think?
Yeah, we're long past it, Lindsay. I love you too. But I think, it's like when I took over as a head coach, we had to start from scratch again to get back to this point. But we were really not really like a mid-major. We had Courtney Vandersloot here and Heather Bowman here and Tiffany Shives here and Vivian Bryson here, and we made all those runs. And we haven't had a deep one since I've been the head coach. We had one Sweet 16 run. And so it's been some time, but every year we're competitive. Every year we compete with those teams. So yes is the answer. I'd be happy to hear us not be considered in that realm, except for, we also don't care because we're not listening to what everyone else is saying. We're trying to stay in our locker room and, focus on the things that we can control, and we can't control all those other things. But I do appreciate you saying that, and I know that you know the quality of our program, and I think that all the people out there who know the quality of our program probably haven't been calling us a mid-major for a long time.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Coach. Yvonne Ejim has been terrific all season, right? And she got hers today. She got 17. But in the first half, 59% of your shots were from behind the arc. Was that a game plan going in, or was that kind of an adjustment from, you mentioned earlier, they were just in Brenna's shorts, and so you looked to other people who were a little bit more open because of that. But game plan or adjustment?
I would say both, maybe. We like to go inside out. We like to have balanced offense. People, every time a recruit or somebody asks me, what kind of offense do you run? I say we run in transition, and we like balance. We need forwards who can shoot it from inside, who can score it from the perimeter. We need guards who can attack. We like people who can shoot it. We'll take the ones who can post up. Like just having a balance and a variety. And so today, we did go to Vaughn quite a bit, but again, she brings attention. So sometimes there was attention that came in there. People dropped or dug in. Otherwise, in some of our continuities that we run, they're coming off ball screens, they're cutting, they're reading each other. And when you have such a veteran group I trust the Trongs to have the ball in their hand against any team, and they're going to make better decisions than I'm going to direct. So just kind of let it go through them a little bit. And it happened to be that we were getting a lot of those threes, and then at a different time we went to Vonnie a little bit more. So I think the balance was the key.
I actually have two questions now based around something you just said. What is it about the sisters that you feel that confident that you don't need to direct them, they just know what play to make out there?
Well, I've basically raised them as my own. They've been here for so long. No, I think that they've been here for a long time, and Kaylee starting in her freshman year, and then they've just logged a lot of minutes, and they've proven that they can make those decisions. So we always say that there's a lot of freedom with understanding in our program. And when you're younger, until you understand what we're trying to get, then we might try to direct you a little bit more. But those guys now, as fifth years, who've logged plenty of minutes and started lots of games and been in lots of big moments, I'm confident that they know what to do, and they're going to do it well. They're going to step up at the right moments. And so I just think they've proven over time that they're capable of those things. And then they trust us. We cover for each other. We lean back and forth. Me and them, Stacy and them, Craig and them. Those guys call more of the offense. Stacy and Craig, and Jordan does more defense. So the three of us are kind of working with those two. But really, they've proven that they can handle it.
And then I know how far you advance in the tournament every year doesn't define what the program is at or the success of it, but it has been 9 years since you've gotten this far. What does that mean to you to get there again?
Yeah, I just think we try, and it's sometimes it's about draw, and sometimes it's about health, and I don't know if Utah was a good draw for us, and we're not healthy, so sometimes it's just the ball goes in the basket when it's supposed to, and you get the stops you need to, and so. If that's what it's about, then I'm really happy for these players. And I'm sorry, I don't remember where you're from. Which paper?
AP.
Okay, so I don't know how familiar you are with our team, but with those guys coming back for their fifth year, they could have all been playing pro, playing whoever school in the world. And so the four of those super seniors, and you throw Vonnie into that, they came back with passion and something that they didn't have necessarily before. And so I think the part that means a lot is that these guys get to experience it. I've been to quite a few of them, or whatever, 6, I don't know. But they haven't. And it's not about being a head coach or an assistant coach. It's about the players in there getting to experience it. And so that's why it's meaningful to me.
We have a Zoom call from Brenna Green.
Lisa, you're going to be heading into an environment in Portland in which, A, you're the underdog, so people are going to be naturally cheering for you, but B, there's a lot of regionality there. There's a lot of Zags in Portland. Just how much are you looking forward to that?
I think it's great. I'm really excited for us to get down there. It's not a home environment, but I think that we're pretty comfortable in that underdog space. That's what it feels like we are, just because that's who we were built on a little bit here at Gonzaga. And I know the Zags are everywhere, but it's nice to have to only go an hour away and 5 hours in a car, and hopefully Spokane will show up down there too. And I think that the whole thing is going to be exciting. So I think that's great. It's great that we're still playing. It's great that my players made all those baskets. I think right now you could really tell me, hey, your daughter wants to make some cookies when you get home. What's that environment going to be like? And I'm like, it's going to be awesome. Let's do it. Because I'm just happy for them. And I know that we're going to be well supported down there, and it's going to be fun.
One last question for Coach.
Coach,
Another one. This is Lindsay again.
Oh, yeah.
Coach, you always speak very highly of your 4 seniors who came back. What does it mean for you to see them get these extra games in front of that home crowd?
Yeah, I mean, it's like playing on house money a little bit. We came in, we didn't know if this was going to happen when we went down to Vegas after we had senior night. And so they truly, as good as our crowds are throughout the regular season, today was different. And I've experienced it, and I just want them all to experience how loud and how exciting. And it's way better to do this in front of your own crowd than, even upsetting some team that you're on their home of. So just, again, genuine, the joy in the locker room is really special. Yeah.
Okay, Lindsay, you get the last question.
Well, thank you. I have to follow up because Lisa just said something about if her daughter wanted to bake cookies, wanted to bake cookies. Is this a post-game tradition after you win that you and Quince bake cookies?
I think they can ask for anything right now, right? So don't tell them. But no, it's not a tradition. I just was like, it's 10:15. They should all be in bed, but who cares? Let's do a movie. Let's get ice cream. I don't know. That was what that was alluding to.
All right, Coach. Thanks.
Thanks, you guys.
Congratulations. Healy and Deja Young ask for an opening comment from Coach.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. Congrats to Gonzaga. I thought they played great. Good job by them, and I'm happy for Brenna. I thought that, they got hot from 3 in that second quarter. I thought we kind of, it was a great first quarter back and forth. And then that second quarter, we just and it was the same thing on Saturday. We didn't have a great second quarter offensively, but I just felt like we were a little rushed, and our execution was poor and on both ends, and they got hot, but, they shot 70. They went 5 for 5 in that second quarter from 3. We couldn't get to the free throw line for whatever reason. 9 to 22 free throws. It's been kind of the story all year. But I'm really proud of our team. Aside from this game, we had a great season, and we hit so much adversity, with injuries and the roster that we thought that we had going in the season, we only had for 3 games. And these guys never flinched, and those that we had healthy didn't quit or feel sorry for themselves, and showed a lot of toughness. And you saw that tonight too. They could have easily just kind of gone through the motions there, and we fought back, got it to 6, I think, and just kind of ran out of gas. But I'm proud of our team, and we have set the standard. We've raised the standard in our program that the NCAA tournament is what we do, and where we, that's the expectation. And, the Pac-12 is over, and now we're moving into the new conference, and our expectations don't change in the Big 12. So, again, proud of my team. Congrats to Gonzaga. And I also want to say how incredibly proud I am of our seniors. These 2, Izzy Palmer, also senior, but just wasn't healthy this year. She did a lot for our program, but these 2 mean so much to me. Obviously, you can see their talent and their toughness, but who they are, and my definition of success is leaving something better than you found it. And these 2 and Izzy can without, they can throw their shoulders back. They helped our program get to where now the NCAA tournament and advancing and not advancing is crushing. The bar has been raised, and so much of it is because of these 2.
For the media, the Utah locker room is open, and we'll open it now for questions for the student athletes.
Alyssa and Deja, kind of what are your just emotions right now in the finality of your career tonight, all that kind of stuff?
It definitely wasn't the ending to our season that we wanted, but like Coach said, hats off to Gonzaga. They played a really good game. But it's just tough when you know that that's your last college game, and it kind of just flew by. And I'm just grateful for it all. I'm grateful I came to Utah and kind of turned my whole life around. But I'm just grateful, and I'm ready for the future. So.
Yeah, it's not the ending that we wanted, but if I had to go out, I'm glad that I went out with these people around me. We went down swinging, so I'll take the L, but I'll take it with pride because we didn't give up. We didn't roll over. At one point, we were down by a pretty good margin, but we kept fighting, and I think that just atones to what this team does. We just keep beating the odds. We keep fighting. We keep swinging. It doesn't matter what's in front of us. So I'm glad that I came here. Everybody knows that. I say that every time I get a chance. And, wouldn't trade anything for the world.
For either one of you, what went wrong in your mind of how the game kind of got lost?
I feel like we made a couple mental errors sometimes. We let them get hot from the 3. Our game plan was to make them score more 2s and 3s, and I feel like we made a couple mental errors there. But they just shot lights out. They didn't miss. They made us pay. But I feel like the hustle, the intensity part was there for the most part.
Yeah, I agree. They just, could have missed from 3. And like they just said, that was our game plan to kind of take that away. But, they're obviously a good offensive team. And, I think there's only so much you could do when they're shooting that well. But, I think that's really just what it was.
For Alyssa and for Deja, just when you look back in context of this entire season, the highs and the lows, the 4 wins over 10 or top 10 programs, or a game winner against Colorado, just what do you kind of take away from this season?
I think, just how tough this team and this program is. It's one of the reasons I decided to come to Utah was just because of the culture and the identity that they had. So it's just a blessing to be a part of. And, like I said, like my whole life changed when I came to Utah. And I've taken so many lessons from it and learned so many things from Coach Lynn, my teammates, and the rest of the coaches. And just the whole university, like staff and everybody, they're great people. So the experiences will stick with me forever. And I'm really glad that, I ended it with this group of people.
I mean, this team, we wear a shirt that says divergent and like that, and resilient. Like, we lost a really good player, Gianna Neek, and she was a really big part of us. And like Coach Rob said, we didn't bat an eye. We kept going, we kept swinging, and I think we were the only team to beat top 10 teams 4 times. So that's just atones to what kind of team we are. And like Liz said, it is sad that we lost this way, but I mean, nobody can take away what we did this whole season, whether they want to acknowledge us or not. We're a good team. They're going to continue to be a good team after this. So.
Could you talk a little bit about that battle you had with Egypt? You guys may have left some bruises on each other out there tonight.
Yeah, it's always fun playing a competitive game against another really good post player. And, she did a great job. And one of our game plans was to kind of limit what she did on the court. And I think for the most part we did a good job. But, yeah, I mean, it's always fun battling down there. It could hurt a little sometimes, but, that's the type of physicality that I like, and that's a part of my game, so it's fun for me.
Any other questions from the media? Okay, ladies, thank you. You're dismissed.
Thank you.
No,
Oh.
you don't get out of it that easy.
You said ladies, so I didn't know what.
Well, you're included in that, but you're not a student athlete.
Good point.
We'll open it now for questions for Coach.
And non-game specific, but I understand that you guys had to move hotels this week based on an incident. Can you maybe expound on what happened or kind of what the situation was?
Yeah. The Gonzaga is the host in Spokane, but our team hotel was in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, which is not very close. 35, 40 minutes. So that was a little strange, but whatever. And, we had several instances of some kind of racial hate crimes towards our program, and incredibly upsetting for all of us. And, you think in our worlds, in athletics and in university settings, it's shocking, in a there's so much diversity on a college campus, and so you're just not exposed to that very often. And so when you are, it's and you have people say, man, I can't believe that happened. But, racism is real, and it happens, and it's awful. And so for our players, whether they are, white, black, green, whatever, no one knew how to handle it, and it was really upsetting. And for our players and staff to not feel safe in an NCAA tournament environment, it's messed up. And so we moved hotels. And, the NCAA and Gonzaga worked to get us in a new hotel, and we appreciate that. But, yeah, that's what happened, and it was a distraction and upsetting and unfortunate, This should be a positive for everybody involved. This should be a joyous time for our program. And to have kind of a black eye on that experience is unfortunate. So yeah, that's what happened.
Carla?
Lynn, to follow up on that, when these happened in Coeur d'Alene, and what days did they happen, and when did you move hotels?
Yes, happened in Coeur d'Alene. We flew up Thursday, so it happened Thursday night a few times, and then we left Friday. So it was really unfortunate and disappointing and upsetting and all the things when this experience shouldn't be any of those things. So, the shock of like, wow, I can't believe that happened. Yeah, I think it happens a lot, and it doesn't get talked about enough.
Other questions for Coach?
After that, I don't know that a game really matters. But I mean, from your perspective, I mean, where was this game lost as a coach?
From my end?
Not your job, but just like, where was the game lost?
No, it's definitely my job. It's definitely on me. I think in that second quarter, our execution was really poor. So you're in the tournament, second round, Gonzaga's good, all the things. So it's not like, oh my gosh, they scored. Would they score 24 points? Like, we've faced that. It was that our execution was just poor, and I don't know why. I mean, it's loud in there, but we play in places that have more people, and not that that's not a factor, but it's not like we haven't been there, done that. So I don't know what happened in that second quarter. I thought we had a good game plan, and I thought the players understood it, and I think we did a good job in the first quarter with that, and then for some reason we just kind of got punched in the mouth and didn't regroup until halftime.
Other questions for Coach?
Cameron McCann, the Gonzaga Bulletin. Coming out of half, Gonzaga had a nice couple string of buckets that might have deflated some teams, but then you guys struck right back with a 7-0 run of your own. What kept you guys fighting so hard? You've been talking about your adversity throughout the season, but in this specific game, what kept you fighting through the adversity?
I don't think it's any different than the rest of the season. I think that's who we are. These guys don't flinch, and they just keep swinging, and the timeouts were positive, and that's just who we are. And, we cut it to 6 in the fourth quarter, and then just couldn't convert. We missed some shots that we were right there, and we just missed some. We missed an open 3. We missed around the rim a little bit. But that's who I'm never going to back down to anything in a competitive way, and I think our team is the same way.
Any more for Coach? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, guys.